Hey guys, so I'm going to be responding to Zarna Joshi's part 3 video, and I know that this topic's already been done to death and answered in all kinds of ways, but it's just so perfect, and it's just basically the best grouping of all the social justice buzzwords and all of the authoritarianism and the misconceptions since Milo Stewart, basically. It's just great. It's beautiful, and I just couldn't resist making a video about it. So let's get right into this. Oh, trigger warning, trigger warning. You know what triggers me, Zarna? Your existence, your very existence triggers me. And also all the sad music playing in the background. This is such a sad topic, you know. Zarna is so sad, asking for money and support because somebody said he was humongous. I mean, this whole situation is just gold, and it's perfect.
It's clear that most people in our society don't even know what sexual harassment means.
Actually, you don't know what sexual harassment means. If someone making a dad joke is sexual harassment to you, then I can't imagine what's gonna be sexual assault or rape to you. I mean, you're just... Zarna, your interpretation of the world is simply incorrect. Like, every single thing that you think about the world is just not true. Also, what is with your bindi shape? I thought bindis were normally supposed to be a circle, but yours looks kind of like a teardrop, and it's really weird. I don't get it.
So I'm going to tell you how to recognize it in my situation and in everyday life, in the deep hope that our sisters and queer and trans siblings might have a chance in this world.
You do realize that queer and trans siblings, that some of them are going to be men, right? I'm assuming that's why you're calling them your siblings, right? So you do realize that you actually do support men as much as you're going to antagonize men in this video and in your other videos. Like, the lack of self-awareness is perfect. Zarna is my new favorite lol cow now, and that's counting the, I can't think of his name, but you know, the I'm feeling really ticklish guy, and DJ Khaled, and Milo Stewart, of course. I mean, it's counting those people, but you're my new favorite now, Zarna, so that's an honor. You should take that as a compliment. Oh, but of course, compliments are sexual harassment, I forgot.
I'm going to tell you what I've learned from living on this earth for over 30 years.
I love it when people say their age like this, and they say like it means some experience. Like, she's just, especially when they're young, she's just admitting that she's only about 30, which is sort of embarrassing, because it's clear that she thinks like a teenager, if not more like a little child. This actually reminds me of, you guys know I'm a big fan of Rage Against the Machine. I love their music, okay? Anyway, there's a recording of a concert they did in 1992, and the frontman, Zach De La Rocha, you know, he was, or still is, I don't know if he's still involved with music, but anyway, he was a brilliant lyricist and vocalist, but he was a little kooky, let me just say that. Anyway, so in this concert, he's up on the stage, and it's right before the last song that they're gonna play, and he's totally out of breath because he's just been screaming his head off for the whole concert, and he goes, "For the 22 years that I've lived in America, I've realized that we've never been a free country," and, you know, everybody cheers. But it's funny because I was kind of confused after listening to that. I thought he was born in America, but he must not have been. Why would he say 22 years? But then I figured out he was born in America. He was 22. And he was like, "For the 22 years that I've been in this country." That's kind of what it reminds me of. I'll link that concert in the description. Anyways, spending 30 years on this earth is not really an accomplishment, just so you know.
So listen up, because these voices are the voices of your sisters, your daughters, your friends, your mothers, and your grandmothers.
Oh great, my grandmother is going to tell me what sexual harassment is, through the mouths of men. This is really confusing. I mean, clearly Zarna's written the script for what the men are going to be saying, so just keep that in mind.
Men don't get to decide what sexual harassment is, any more than white people get to decide what racism is.
And why is that? Is it because men and white people can't think about sexism or racism? This literally makes no sense. What if a woman is sexist towards a man, like blatantly sexist, like she does not let him get a job because he's a man? Can the man not decide that was sexism? I mean, I'm not following here. This is confusing.
Because patriarchy and racism are systems of power.
Okay, look up the definitions of racism and sexism, will you, old man? I think even you know that it just means discriminating against somebody because of their sex or their race. It has nothing to do with power.
Men and white people profit from those systems of power, even if they don't know they're perpetuating them.
Oh yes, because all men are sexist and all white people are racist, isn't that right? Come on, dude. You as a white man must know that this is not true. Come on.
That's why they don't get to decide how to define them.
Wait, that makes no sense. So they're in power, so therefore they don't get to decide to define them. But they're in power, so don't they have the most power to define them? I don't get it.
Sure, our system is designed to keep women oppressed. But using freedom of speech as your excuse to say vile things to women makes you a coward. And it's also sexual harassment.
So saying anything mean to women is sexual harassment, even if it's not sexual? I don't think you realize that it's sexual harassment. Like, if I go to a woman and I say, oh, you're really ugly, or why were you so mean to me? You're really mean. Why is that sexual harassment? I don't get it.
Going beyond any woman's boundaries is sexual harassment.
What boundaries are you talking about? This is so vague. I mean, I can understand how going beyond a woman's physical boundaries and touching her, and she doesn't want to be touched in a certain way, I can understand how that can be seen as sexual harassment. But any boundaries at all?
Getting your friends to bully her, harass her, stalk her because she won't respond to you in a consenting way, that's sexual harassment.
Again, how is that sexual? You guys don't... You think that anything that's mean to a woman in any way is sexual harassment. Or, look, I forget this is Zarna talking, really. So these men probably don't really believe this, but still, oh my god.
Commenting on how a woman looks when you don't know her, and she's not your partner, and you don't have her consent, sexual harassment.
So how do you ask for her consent, then? Oh, can I comment on how you look, even though you're not my partner? So compliments are sexual harassment. Are you kidding me? Oh my god, this just gets better and better. Zarna is just officially the greatest SJW that I've ever known.
Wolf whistling, catcalling, and Eve teasing, that's sexual harassment.
Okay, I can understand how wolf whistling and catcalling can be sexual harassment, but I have no idea what Eve teasing is. And this guy actually looks like he actually is excited about this. So maybe those words are genuinely what he thinks, which is very sad.
Crass jokes and innuendos, sexual harassment.
Oh yeah, because women can't handle jokes. How infantilizing is this? They're basically saying that you can't say anything to a woman without her consent, without it being sexual harassment. It's so dumb. It's so infantilizing. Oh my god. This is feminism, folks. This is standing up for the rights of women and making them independent. Remember that.
If you wouldn't say it at the workplace, it's sexual harassment.
This is so stupid. I mean, people act completely different with their friends and family than they do at the workplace. So saying something to your friends and families that you wouldn't say in the workplace is sexual harassment all of a sudden? This is... Oh my god. Again, why is it sexual? For the millionth time, these people don't seem to even understand what sexual means. For harassment to be sexual, it has to be sexual.
And if you're not at work and say it, it's still sexual harassment.
What? That doesn't make any sense. Like I said, people act differently than they do with their friends and family than they do in the workplace.
If she says no when you ask her out on a date, that means no. If you continue to ask her, that's sexual harassment.
Okay, I can understand how that might be considered harassment if she already said no, but again, how is that sexual? And so asking her more than once it's sexual harassment? Like if I say, oh, you want to go out with me? No, I don't really think so. Oh, you sure? That's sexual harassment. I mean, come on.
If you ask a woman out and she says no, and you keep contacting her, emailing her, following her online, calling her, that is stalking, and it's sexual harassment.
It's only stalking really, if you keep doing it for a really long period of time, if you text her once after asking her out, that's not stalking, dude. And that sounds like a very specific situation. But whatever it is, it probably didn't happen to Zarna, I'm guessing.
If you say something to a woman and she doesn't like it and you still say it, that's sexual harassment.
Wait, how are you supposed to know whether she likes it or not? This is... Oh my god. So saying anything that a woman judges not to like is sexual harassment. I mean, again, how infantilizing is this? This is just treating women like children who can't handle the tiniest little word. Oh my god.
If you say something to a woman and she tells you you're sexually harassing her, and then you go find her email and email her multiple times and ask her to go to lunch with you, that's called stalking. And it's sexual harassment.
Again, this is a very specific situation, and this actually, I know, did happen to Zarna, because Rudy, the guy who said he was humongous, he felt really sorry for what happened afterwards, which he shouldn't have, because she completely overreacted, and he asked her to lunch so that he could clear the situation up and explain that there was a misunderstanding there, and she, in return, said that he was stalking her. I mean, this shows that Zarna's not only crazy, but she's also just really awful person. To react the way she did, not only to Rudy's joke, but also to him being really nice to her, is just awful. I mean, it's clear that she's probably a narcissist, and she probably has some sort of paranoid disorder as well.
If we have to use mental acrobatics to justify abusive behavior, like saying that was just a dad joke or a fat joke, that is sexual harassment.
Dude, that's not mental acrobatics. That's actually what it was. It was a dad joke. It was a fat joke. That's what it was. Zarna misunderstood the situation. That's all.
If you have to make a long-winded explanation about how your harmless joke was not sexual harassment, it's sexual harassment.
Again, kid, you're a little too excited about this. I think that this guy thinks that he's going to get a lot of girls because of this, but you're not, dude. I mean, again, the explanation for why what Humongous said was not sexual harassment is not long-winded. It's not long-winded at all. It just wasn't sexual harassment. It just wasn't. That's the objectivity of it. That's literally what it was, okay? Just because Zarna misinterpreted doesn't make her misinterpretation automatically true.
If you wouldn't say it to your daughter or mother, it's sexual harassment.
Again, people act completely differently in different situations. You sound like you want people to act the same in every single situation. I mean, if that's not authoritarian, I don't know what is.
There are some men who would say it to their daughter. That's called grooming. If you see that, reach out to the daughter and ask if she's okay. It is likely her father is abusive, and that he's teaching her that rape culture is okay.
This is too good. I mean, I can tell that that guy is on drugs or something because he just talks so slow. But honestly, oh my god. Grooming is when somebody sets up a girl to be a prostitute and sort of sets her up for sex trafficking. That's what grooming is. You're misusing the word grooming in a horrible way. You're saying that if a dad says something to his daughter that he wouldn't normally say to his daughter, that's equated with a young girl being set up to be sold into prostitution. You do realize that that's what grooming is, right? I mean, oh my god. So if a dad makes a sex joke in front of his daughter, you're supposed to reach at the daughter, ask if she's okay. And then the dad must be abusive, obviously. I mean, this is like the recovered memory movement when so many people, especially fathers, were being sent to jail for alleged sexual abuse, which actually never really happened. This is a witch hunt. This is a witch hunt trying to accuse anybody you can of sexual harassment. This is what this is.
Lying about what really happened in a sexual harassment case, like saying that she started it or asked for it or wanted it, is rape culture.
The whole rape culture concept is so stupid, at least in the West. In the West, rape is considered to be a horrible thing, and anybody who is even accused of rape is automatically an outcast. So how is that a rape culture? I don't get it. Also, yes, saying that a woman asked to be raped or sexually assaulted is absolutely awful, and that's something you should never say. But again, it's not perpetuating that rape is okay or something. If you're a person who says that somebody asked for rape genuinely, then that's not representative of the entire population, but these people think that just every man automatically thinks that a woman asked for assault or rape or even sexual harassment.
Saying that boys will be boys is rape culture.
Saying that boys will be boys at all? So if a bunch of goofy 10-year-olds are, say, running around and they get into a little trouble or they say something kind of goofy and you're just like, boys will be boys, and it has nothing to do with sexual assault or rape or anything, then how is that rape culture? I don't get it.
Believing that men are not capable of controlling ourselves is rape culture.
Well, you're clearly not capable of controlling yourselves, considering that you somehow got Zarna to spit out her lines. Although it might be easy for you because it's clear that she drugged you and probably date raped you.
Saying that a woman defended herself against sexual harassment makes you uncomfortable is rape culture.
Wait, I thought rape culture was telling women to defend themselves. I'm confused.
If it's not consent culture, it's rape culture.
What's consent culture? You guys are making no sense. If anything, we actually do live in a consent culture since we consider rape to be bad.
Thinking that a woman should just shrug off being sexually harassed because it's not what women normally go through, or it's not what they used to go through in the past, that is rape culture.
Nobody tells women to just shrug off sexual harassment. I'm sure there are plenty of women who decide to shrug off sexual harassment, but there's actually nobody who tells women to do that.
Threatening a woman with rape or violence because she dared to speak up about sexual harassment is rape culture and sexual violence.
So rape threats or death threats or whatever are sexual violence now. Violence is actually hurting a person. That is something you must realize, very stoned man, or drugged in some other way. I mean, oh my god, this is just, every single second of this video is just pure gold. This is amazing. And I'm pretty sure what Zarna means when she talks about threatening a woman with rape or death or whatever is about the people who wrote those things online. In other words, the people who didn't really mean those threats. But no, those threats are violence all of a sudden. I mean, this underplays not only what sexual harassment actually is, but what sexual violence actually is.
Calling a woman crazy when she screams about sexual harassment, that's rape culture, that's patriarchy.
What if it wasn't sexual harassment? Like in the case with Zarna. Oh my god. She is crazy because she clearly is not in connection with reality.
No woman is obligated to make you feel comfortable after she's been sexually harassed.
No woman is obligated to make anybody feel comfortable, or no man for that matter. And everybody knows that. Nobody thinks that.
Thinking that the man who has power is more likely to be telling the truth than the woman who has no power is patriarchy.
Right, because women just have no power. It's not like Zarna got on the internet and became viral and now has her own charity and a YouTube channel set up. So women just have no power, like Hillary Clinton or the numerous number of women CEOs. They just have no power. No. A poor homeless man has more power than Hillary Clinton. Is that what you're telling me? Is that honestly what you're telling me? And I don't base the truth of a situation based on who has power and who doesn't. If a homeless man or a homeless woman or whatever is lying about something, if I think that they're lying about something, then I'm not gonna really believe them. I base the truth based on objective facts, not who has power and who doesn't.
No, you don't have the right to expect women to be nice to you. Expecting all women to be nice to you is patriarchy.
No, expecting all women to be nice to you is stupid. In theory, I would like everybody to be nice to me, but some people are really mean. This goes for women and for men, okay? Nobody expects everybody to be nice to them.
When you see a woman subjected to sexual violence, the way Zarna has been subjected to sexual violence.
Right, because sexual harassment, or in this case not even sexual harassment, a man saying that his name was humongous, is equated with somebody being sexually assaulted or raped. I mean, this is just awful, really, that they're equating somebody saying that his name was humongous with actually being raped. I mean, usually this video is just hilarious, but this is actually just really awful and really insensitive.
In the form of sexual harassment, cyberstalking, slander, hate messages, rape threats, death threats, and you don't do anything to help her or to stop it, that's rape culture. That's patriarchy, and you're enabling it.
So not helping Zarna, who's a dishonest, paranoid liar, is patriarchy and rape culture. So not helping a specific woman not helping a specific woman is patriarchy and rape culture. Yeah, that makes complete sense. It makes complete and utter sense. It's not like Zarna, thinks everybody else is out to get her, and she's turning the tiniest thing into, suddenly it's like she's being sexually assaulted or raped. It's not like Zarna is just a horrible person. It's not like it's any of that at all. No. Refusing to help Zarna specifically is rape culture.
Notice how I only brought men to give this message? That's because you're patriarchal, and you won't listen any other way.
This is too great. This is just beautiful. This is amazing. So every single person who you're communicating to, including the poor oppressed women's and the poor oppressed minorities and the poor oppressed gay and trans people, will only listen to men because the evil patriarchy only makes them listen to men. This is just, who believes this? Who believes this? I'm pretty sure all of the men actually don't believe what she's saying, except for the redhead kid. I mean, oh my god, this just gets more and more amazing.
If you're a man, use your privilege to educate others about patriarchy, but always be humble before the voices of those who are oppressed. You followed their lead.
What if they're actually not oppressed? What if they're just a very rich woman who's claiming that she's oppressed because she is a woman? Oh my god, Zarna, this is just crazy. This is just insane. It's great at the same time. Oh my god. So if you're a man, you have to guilt trip yourself into listening to women, just following the lead of women and racial minorities and gay and trans people. I mean, oh my god. This is the definition of authoritarianism right there. I mean, a lot of SJWs pretend that they're not authoritarians. They're usually pretty bad at pretending. But Zarna is just outright authoritarian. There's just no way of getting around that.
If you're a woman, a queer or transgender person, and or a person of color, know that the way you are abused is not your fault. You didn't do anything to deserve it. You were simply born into a body that patriarchy despises. You were born into a body that is objectified and commodified so that those in power can keep their power.
What if you're any of those things and you're not oppressed? What about that, Zarna?
So we will bring this system down by refusing to be quiet. We will refuse to be quiet about sexual harassment, assault, rape, and violence. Together with our male allies...
You mean your male slaves?
We will defeat this oppression. That's how we will smash patriarchy. And that's not rhetoric.
Oh no, that's not rhetoric. That's not you being authoritarian, Zarna. That's objectively true that we're all subjected under this evil patriarchy that somehow does not evidence itself in any way at all. In fact, this patriarchy is so evil that men are unfairly biased in the court system, education is failing men in a lot of ways, circumcision is still a thing, but female genital mutilation is awful. I can go on and on. I mean, the patriarchy is so evil that there are a bunch of men's rights issues that the patriarchy never talks about.
I'm going to tell you all about it.
Oh my god. Smash the patriarchy, the evil patriarchy. Donate to Zarna's safety and well-being, because everybody knows Zarna is just afraid for her life right now.
On feel le fond plein.